Yo, what's up, everybody? This your boy Big Hall. Welcome to another episode of My Perspective Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in for another episode, another great conversation with your boy. Thank y'all for joining me. Uh, Thank to all my subscribers, all 22 of y'all on my new channel, Aaron Hawkins Speak. For the ones who just not tapping in, who just not paying me some attention, hey, do me a favor, man. Hit the subscribe button. Help me grow the platform so we can get this thing going. Just trying to make it better. Let's get into it. Hey, I use the term think as if, or you become what you want. Learn to become what you want. So you have to begin to think as if, and that's the mindset of all the successful, uh, rich, wealthy, abundant. This is the most common thing they say. In order to achieve, their level of success, they became what they desired in their mind, right? But on the flip side, a lot of us, I guess in our beginning phase, I'm gonna say that um, we tend to we put the cart before the horse, if you will. We tend to, at least from my lens, from my eyes, from my perception, I see a lot of us try to look the part before actually becoming the part. But what that term "think as if" really means is develop the skills, the character traits, and the mental capacity to handle that level of greatness you desire, or that level of achievement you desire, or that big goal you desire, right? You have to develop a skill set to handle that, because if not, it's not going to last long. You're going to be a flash in the pan. You're going to be a one hit wonder. You're going to be a, hit in the miss. You're going to be hit today, gone tomorrow. But it's not going to produce sustainability. Um, so it's very, very important to avoid looking the part. When you see rich people, when you see wealthy people, really you don't know they're wealthy. You may know they're wealthy by the watch that they may wear, or um, some sort of, not by their clothes, but maybe by the watch that they wear, maybe by the car that they drive. If you see them driving their fancy car, most wealthy people don't care about the material things. They care about making their money grow. They care about increase, legacy, taking care of their family, things like that, family tree, things, so on and so forth. But how they look externally, not so much. You have some that they put it on or whatever, but that's because they have the means to do so. So let's put it in perspective. When you see an individual wearing, the designer that we tend to see, the Louis, the Gucci, the Birkins, all these hot, Fendi, Balmain, all these very, very expensive brands, right? And you see these people wearing them, but the wealthy people that wear these designers, they got 5, 10 million plus annually type income. So to spend $5,000 on an outfit, you making $5 or $10 million a year. That's just like me or you going to Walmart, going to Macy's. If you really want to be, big spender, we'll go to Ralph Lauren, or go to something like that, right? But it don't affect them. That's their discretionary income that allows them to buy these types of clothes and drive the cars that they drive and things like that. And when it comes to cars, most wealthy people, they don't buy their vehicles or anything that's a liability with their hard-earned money. They'll create a business to pay for things like that. But the money that they earn, they don't use that money for things that depreciate in value. They use their hard-earned money for things that are going to create value or increase in value. Let me give you some numbers. And you can fact check me. I don't got no statistical data on this, um, but I'm talking to my African American family right now. We make up 13% of America's population, right? But we only own 1/10 of 1% of America's wealth. See that big disparaging gap between our numbers versus what we own? Let's go to the Jewish uh, culture, Jewish population. They only make up 2% of America's population, but they own 30% of America's wealth. You see what I'm going with this? That's because they think about the long game. That's because they think about generational wealth. That's because they think about increase, things of that nature. They don't think about looking good. They think about actually becoming good, becoming great, becoming making their last name an asset, not a liability. We got it the other way around. And I understand why we do it, but when you know better, we have to do better. That's why personal development is so important because it begins to change your paradigm. It begins to create a new set of habits, a new set of character traits. You unlearn and relearn. It begins to change how you think. It begins to shift your thinking and your movement. You develop personally. You take it upon yourself to become better as an individual, and you strive to become the best version of yourself. That takes discipline. Once you acquire the discipline, that's a skill. Once you acquire that skill, then you'll be able to make better decisions in life and not just uh, so emotional. I can remember I would get a dividend check, from a job, $2,000. First thing I would say, man, I worked hard. I don't have nothing. I'm finna enjoy myself instead of thinking about the long game and put that money back into the company, reinvest the money back into the company so it can create more money. That dividend check was a benefit from how good the company did that year, right? So if the company's doing that great, they can give us a cut of the increase of the profit. Why not put it back into the company to increase your profit? Increase your profit. Didn't think like that. I thought I deserved to treat myself, and that's good for the moment, but the long game, terrible idea. These are some of the things we do when we have a poverty mindset, when we have a scarcity mindset, when we have a lack mindset. When we're thinking about increase, when we're thinking about goal setting, when we're thinking about achieving greatness, legacy. The Bible says a good man lays up an inheritance for his children's children. With that mindset I had, never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. When I change my mindset, now I store up. I store up so that one day when I'm no longer here, my grands and great grands are gonna be okay. And they'll never meet me. Most of them never meet me. However, they'll be good because of what I'm doing now. Had I done it then, I probably wouldn't even be on this podcast talking to you because I already achieved the goal. But because I was a slow learner, late bloomer, now I'm trying to share and teach and reach the people that behind me that's trying to come up, but they're frustrated and they're confused and they don't know how to shake it. Hence, my perspective podcast. Let's go a step further. African Americans, we are the number one spenders in America. We spend the most money in America. We are the biggest consumers in America, but we own the least. We spend the most, but we own the least. So that means everything we touch, everything we spend our money on is a liability. It's a depreciating asset. It depreciates in value. But we look great. We gonna look so good. We're gonna be so fly. You gonna think we got what we got when we ain't got it. We just looking at it. We a facade. We imposters. We putting on because it makes us feel good because of the struggle. But think of it like this: we've been struggling all our life. So once you get hold to some money, once you get hold to a good income, once you get hold to a better way of life, won't you purposely struggle a little while longer so you can set yourself up for the remainder of your life to live how you truly want to live? It's not hard to do. It just requires discipline and it requires structure. And that has to be learned and developed. that has to be learned and developed. Give you another interesting uh, fact. I ain't gonna even say fact. Interesting finding I discovered. Like I said, African Americans make up 13% of America's population, but we only own 1/10 of 1% of America's wealth. But we buy 2/3 of all the Mercedes Benz that's produced in America. African Americans do. We don't own nothing, but we spend our money on things that make us look like we got it. Higher interest rates. We don't work on having good credit because a car dealership will sell you a car with trash credit because bad credit is big business as well. The rich person, they might get 0%, 1 or 2%, but the person with bad credit, 10, 12, sometimes 14. I paid as high as 14% interest on the car. 18%, I think, one time. I paid so much interest, they refinanced the car for me. I had a minivan, and my kids were small. That guy hit me for 18% interest. I just took it. I just needed a car. One thing about fixing my credit, just took the L. And the refinance, the company, instead of them taking my car, they refinanced the car for me. That's how bad I was off. I'm just saying, I've been there before. I ain't just talking down on nobody. I've been there. I come from a mighty long way. God has really changed me. So this is what I'm sharing with you. But we own less. We own 1/10 of 1% of all wealth. We buy 2/3 of all the Mercedes Benz that's produced in America. Something wrong with that picture. This is why personal development is so important. But the people who are making the bad decisions that I once made, you got to swallow your pride and check your ego and get the help that you need. You got to swallow your pride and check the ego and get the help that you need. If you don't, guess what? You're losing. You're not gonna have no retirement. You're not gonna have no treasures laid up for your family. When you die, if you don't have no life insurance policy, all you're gonna be is a memory, and probably gonna be a bad memory because they got to fry fish and other things to bury you. We got to change that. This is why personal development is so important. Act as if means to acquire the mental character traits, attributes, skill set. So when the universe, when your mind aligns with the universe, the frequency with the energy, that's when you begin to attract the things that you desire. So once you begin to attract the things that you desire, you will know how to keep them, handle it, and manage them, and grow these things. Then you'll become what you desire instead of faking it till you make it. Because you're never gonna make it with the mindset we have currently. You're never gonna make it. We're gonna always be up and down. You'll be surprised how many times I've seen individuals get on social media, go to Cancun, go to these different places, Dubai, wherever. I mean, having a good time, putting on for the city. Social media page lit, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok lit, million followers, you name it, lit. But then come home and have to bed, bar, and scrape to pay their bills. Priorities all jacked up. I see it too many times. Let's fix it. But it all starts up here with personal development. All starts up here with personal development, through personal development. Do not conform to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. That's personal development. That's personal development. That's what Jesus taught. All his stories was about change, changing the inner man. That's what makes faith so valuable because it helps you change, personally develop, and you rediscover who you are and you change. You evolve, you grow, you mature, you gain wisdom and knowledge. And then each one teach one. That's what it's all about. We're gonna land the plane right there. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of My Perspective Podcast. Um, Before I go, I'm gonna say this: take what I say with a grain of salt, because it's just my perspective. I'm just giving you game from my lens, what I see, what I've experienced through life, and that's it. Until next week, man, I love y'all. Peace.